Brought to you by Jack. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
Hello everyone and welcome inside Dodger Stadium. I'm Kelly Tennant. Brandon McCarthy on the mound tonight, but he left his last start early against the Cards due to a blister that formed in that game. He went on to throw a bullpen on Sunday, came out without any issues. So talking to Dave Roberts earlier today, he said, we are in full confidence that he's going to be able to get through this one. We don't need to monitor it the way we've had to monitor Rich Hill's blister. So they feel really good about this one. I think Brandon McCarthy's ready to get back out there, guys.
For his 10th start of the season, Kelly gave up those 2 runs on the Adam Wainwright home run on Thursday, but that was enough with the Dodgers getting shut out in that game in a 2-0 final. 5-2 with an ERA just above 3, and ready to face off with the Nationals here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. On the starting lineup for Washington. They've been the best offensive team in baseball this year, averaging 5.5 runs per game. And it begins with Trey Turner, the speedster at the top. And Brian Goodwin makes the start with Jason Worth on the disabled list. Bryce Harper's in right, hitting third. Ryan Zimmerman having a bounce-back season in a big way, leading the majors in batting average and in runs batted in. Andy Murphy, of course, the runner-up for MVP last year. Rendon, a home run last night. Then Wieters, then Taylor, and Max Scherzer. That's 9th against McCarthy.
Brandon McCarthy is at his best when he is aggressive. Aggressive in the strike zone with fastballs that move in 2 different directions. The cutter and the two-seamer that sinks. His two-seamer, when it's on and he is aggressive, it is one of the most unhittable pitches in the big leagues. He can tell him it's coming and it's hard to hit. He doesn't need to think too much. He just needs to trust his stuff.
Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. The Dodgers, after that 6-game winning streak that finished off in St. Louis, have gone 2-4 in their last 6 games. Open the night a game back of the Rockies in the West as Colorado begins a series tonight with the Cleveland Indians at Coors Field. Nationals, meanwhile, the best record in the NL. 11-3 over their last 14 games. Dusty Baker's squad rolling through this road trip, 6-1. Reason to smile for him in the Nationals. One of the best road teams in baseball so far this year. The rare overcast sky over Dodger Stadium as we get ready to go. Brandon McCarthy into his windup, home with the first one. Off we go with strike one. On Turner. He's gotten it going for the Nationals over the last couple weeks. Big bouncer. A tough play with a speedy runner and not in time. Infield single for Trey Turner, and as soon as you see that ball bounce in the air like that with him running, you fear that that may be the outcome.
His speed and then a couple of slight delays. Brandon McCarthy retreating to the ball, then Logan doesn't really get the first grip on it, and that little bit allows these wheels to make it first in a bang-bang play.
So the leadoff man on against McCarthy, and here's Brian Goodwin. Off the bench last night, had a pinch hit single. Turner runs on the first pitch. Grandal's throw is not in time, and Trey Turner, third in the National League in steals, has his 17th.
Not waiting to even get a read on Brandon McCarthy. His times or his move to first, just pretty much just going on first move. 6-1 on this road trip, and a very offensive team. Very aggressive.
Turner has said that if he thinks there's any chance he can steal the base, he is going. Kind of guy that has the green light at all times from his manager. It's off of the inside, and it's 2-0 on Goodwin. 73 games last year for Trey Turner. 33 stolen bases. And a Rookie of the Year runner-up. Runs again. And no throw from Grandal. Just like that, the Nationals with a man at third.
He has such a great jump. He does not even run on the first, like, secondary lead, but it wasn't even really on the pitch. He decided to go, and Brandon McCarthy was still pausing, and then after the crow hop, he went. That was an amazing jump.
It's a strike, 3-1. And speed can change the game. It's not as big a part of the game as it was early 90s, back into the 60s when Maury Wills was playing for the Dodgers. A little pop up and foul ground. Logan Forsythe in front of the Dodger dugout for the first out.
When the St. Louis Cardinals had Ozzie Smith and Vince Coleman, Tommy Herr was their third hitter, and he had over 100 RBIs with less than 10 home runs. As they would get on, steal, and he would just have to drive them in with a ground ball or a sac fly.
It's one of the reasons there were so many artificial turf fields back in that era, because teams like to run so much. Harper bats with a man at third and 1 out. And take strike one.
Before Ryan Zimmerman started hitting at a 372 clip, you'd think about walking Bryce Harper right here, but the guy behind him is unbelievable protection.
Just misses here, and it's 1-1. And Harper has not quite been himself the last couple weeks. It is not your typical couple weeks, because obviously the suspension following the brawl in San Francisco. But on both sides of that suspension, he struggled, hitting a .157 over his last 14 games. Brandon McCarthy looking for a strikeout here. Home of the 1-2. Harper hits a high fly ball to left center field that will be plenty deep to send Turner to the plate. As Bellinger's throw is cut off by Forsythe, and the Nationals lead 1-0.
All on Turner's legs. The chopper was speed, stolen base to second, of course, and then the jump at second to go to third. Turner scored the run.
Two outs, bases empty, and it's Ryan Zimmerman. The average and the runs batted in, leading baseball. Shatters his bat on a roller up the middle that Corey Seager fields and gets a hustling Zimmerman to finish the inning. The speed of Trey Turner buys the Nationals the game's first run, and the Dodgers take their first hacks against Max Scherzer when you come back. And their lineup, brought to you by Honda, is led off by Chase Utley, with Corey Seager hitting second, and Grandal, Gonzalez, and Bellinger. And you see there with the handedness down the right-hand column of this graphic, 5 consecutive lefties will come up to bat against Scherzer. Then Taylor, Forsythe, and Puig down to the bottom batting right-handed. Scherzer, of course, won the Cy Young last year. It was his second. Won one with the Tigers in the American League a few years back. He's second in the league in ERA, trailing Kershaw. He leads the league in strikeouts. How in the world do you get to this guy?
It's very hard. You've got to hit the fastball. That's where you have the best chance. Hitting 271 versus the fastball. Look at the off-speed stuff, and the number 1 and number 2 off-speed pitches are the changeup and the slider.
So be aggressive.
Yes. First fastball you can hit it.
Outside, ball 1. Dave Roberts wanting to give Logan Forsythe a little different look today, dropping him in the order to the 7th spot, especially against a guy like Scherzer. I like the idea of Chase Utley leading things off against him. That's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Most pitchers, their foundational pitch comes on the arm side. It's easier just to throw strikes as that arm lines up with that corner. But Scherzer's foundational pitch is the fastball away to righties or into lefties.
Utley pulls one through for a base hit. And he did it on an off-speed pitch. Just like we told you would happen, right?
Well, the numbers tell us that the off-speed pitches are the ones that don't get hit, but Chase Utley finds one right here and finds a hole. Ball was elevated a little bit, gave him a chance to really hit it hard.
Now Seager. A 3-hit game last night. It's only his second 3-hit game of the year, 1 year after he had 17 of them. He pulls one to second. Off of Murphy. Recovering and right. Not in time. The first two reach against Scherzer.
Well, Murphy was perfectly positioned, so this ball should be a double play, and you see the footwork from that part of the hole. He tried to transfer his weight off of his right foot to get turning to go to second. Upsetted the glove action. The Dodgers caught a break right here. The Nats caught a break when Trey Turner hit the chopper. One team took advantage. Can the Dodgers take advantage now?
The answer last night was no, and the result was a 4-2 defeat. Nationals getting all 4 runs with 2 outs, while the Dodgers went 1 for 10 with men in scoring position. Yasmani Grandal bunts one, foul, strike 1.
Yasmani bunting for a hit, but if it turns into a sacrifice, he'd take that also. Was trying to force that ball down the third baseline. Anthony Rendon is playing deep, not really believing that he'll try and bunt again.
Scherzer has him in an 0-2 hole. First complete game of the season for Scherzer Wednesday in San Francisco. Struck out 11. Now sitting right at 100 Ks on the season to lead the league. Home with an 0-2. Nowhere close. Ball 1. Dodgers saw Scherzer twice in the division series last year. They beat him in game 1. Scherzer took a no decision in game 5, a game the Dodgers won 4-3 in the 9th. With Kershaw closing it down. Foul tip. I know he didn't get a piece. He's down on strikes, 1 out.
Starting pitchers usually leave the bullpen with 2 pitches they feel comfortable with. For Scherzer, it's the fastball and the slider. The changeup's usually something that you have to develop a feel for. His first changeup was terrible, but he came right back with it and threw a good one.
Among active pitchers, nobody better when it comes to striking batters out. Kershaw goes tomorrow against Steven Strasburg. Adrian Gonzalez with 2 on and 1 out. Takes ball 1. Adrian really the only Dodger with any kind of significant experience against Max Scherzer, and the number's not very good. 5 for 26. Ball and a strike.
Real battle here. Scherzer either wants to strike him out or have him hit it on the ground. Adrian is a big-time double play candidate, and Adrian is trying to find something that he can hit in the air, especially into the gaps.
That's the one thing about Scherzer. He does not induce many ground balls. In fact, has the highest fly ball rate in baseball. Cuts at what probably was ball 2 and instead is behind 1-2.
4 out of the last 5 pitches have been changeups and fading away from these lefties. Dave Roberts stacking those left-handers as you take a look at the highest fly ball percentage. And Max Scherzer gets a lot of fly balls, and those mistakes, those fly balls can turn into home runs. That's about the only way he gives up a multitude.
That's a base hit to right. Chase Utley's headed home. Harper's throw not in time and tied at 1. Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers waste no time, even in the issue against Scherzer.
Ground ball that finds the hole again. Murphy had a chance at one of these. Adrian doesn't find a fielder, just finds the outfield and puts the Dodgers into a tie.
And brings up Cody Bellinger with men at first and second and 1 out. First career AB for Bellinger against Scherzer. Strike 1. Bellinger pinch hit double last night. Now has a hit in 5 straight. Two on with 1 out and an 0-1. Scherzer to Bellinger with an 0-2 pitch. Got him. Cutting one under the hands. 2 out.
The changeup looks like it runs away about a foot, and now the cut fastball moves in about 6 to 8 inches. That is an awful lot of movement left to right.
So Chris Taylor bats. RBI double last night. Tonight hitting 6th. Scherzer ready to work against the first right-hander that he sees in the Dodger lineup, and Taylor dumps it back. Strike 1. Back to center today after starting at second last night. Seager at second, Gonzalez at first, and an 0-1. 0-2. Scherzer winds up striking his way out of what could have been a bigger inning for the Dodgers. He allows just 1, and after 1, tied at 1. Scherzer in the first on an Adrian Gonzalez RBI single, and tied at 1 onto the second. You only get 1 there, but it feels like a big run when you give up that tough run in the first inning and know that it's going to be a tough night against Scherzer.
It gives you a little confidence to the whole lineup. A couple guys get the hits, but everybody else feels like he's reachable.
Ball 1 on Daniel Murphy, leading off the second for Washington. Murphy slaps it to third. There's Forsythe. There's out number 1.
It really helps Brandon McCarthy getting that run back. Gets to start the game over a little bit. He doesn't have to sit on the bench and go, wow, what a tough break it was to give up that chopper, then the couple stolen bases. Really a scratch run, and now I'm done 1-0. Tied up. Can feel like he's doing well.
Anthony Rendon doing well. Home run and a double last night. Since the last day of April, he leads the majors in on base plus slugging. That's a strike. That last day of April is a significant one. Rendon went 6 for 6. He hit 3 home runs. He drove in 10. One of the greatest offensive games in baseball history. And then Scooter Jeanette happened tonight in Cincinnati. If you've not seen it yet, 4 home runs for Jeanette, and he knocked in 10. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's going to be hard to show all of his home runs between at bats.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. The highlights are unbelievable for one guy.
Stroke to left center field. Taylor will have to play it on a bounce. Rendon stays hot with a 1-out single. Our unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Jeanette with 4 home runs, one of them a grand slam. Has 38 career home runs now, and 4 of them coming tonight against St. Louis. He's one of 17 players ever to hit 4 home runs in a game. The last one was Josh Hamilton a few years back for Texas. One on, 1 out. Here's Matt Wieters.
Well, you have to send our congratulations to Scooter. His name is going to go down in history now. 4 home runs in 1 major league game. 3 of the 4 swings look like the same. The one he hit the left looks like he just blocked it with some power.
Wieters shanks it foul, and it's 0-1. Of course, joins Sean Green in LA Dodger history. Green did that in Milwaukee, which is where Jeanette began his career. Had the anniversary of that not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. Has to be an out-of-body experience.
Each one you run around the bases probably floating higher than the last. We were eating dinner before the game and got to see the third one live, and that was amazing with a curtain call. Can't imagine the 4th one.
Wieters lines into a double play to end the inning. To the bottom of the second we go. Off and rolling in game 2 between the Dodgers and the Nationals. and we look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Most strikeouts over the last 5 seasons. Scherzer's 1. Kershaw, who goes tomorrow, is 2. And Strasburg, who counters him, is also on the list.
Everybody up there has good stuff and can locate the ball very well. You don't strike out that many people without having superb velocity, superb movement, and excellent command.
Dodgers getting 1 on 2 hits and an error in the first inning against Scherzer. Bottom third coming up in the second. Logan Forsythe. Beach ball on the warning track.
School's out. Summer is right here or around the corner.
Such a great time of year as a kid.
Well, especially in LA with the beaches.
A first pitch fastball has Scherzer ahead of Forsythe 0-1. And you get to stay up a little later. Come to some weekday games. Yeah. You don't have to worry about school yet. Nothing at 2. Heck, you can even go to tomorrow's game on summer break now.
Yep.
12:10 start time. Scherzer gets Forsythe on 3 pitches, 1 out.
Right fielder, number 66.
4 strikeouts already for Max. Getting him with all kinds of pitches. The changeup to lefties has been devastating. The cutter inside to righties, and that slider on the outside corner punched another one out.
All 4 outs via the strikeout. Here's Puig, who has doubled and tripled against Scherzer. Inside corner for a strike. So Puig again sliding into the 8th spot. We talked about this a little bit last night, but a spot where the Dodgers don't necessarily rely on him to recapture that early career form. It's nothing in 2. He can provide what he has, which is a little bit of power, 9 home runs, the good defense in right. You keep hitting him 8th, and then you see what the Dodgers have done with him in that spot. 17-3 when he hits 8th. Ball 1.
There's nothing wrong with somebody hitting 8 that ends up with 20, 25 home runs, driving in 80, playing elite defense in right field. It just shows you have a very deep and strong lineup.
All 5 outs via the strikeout for Scherzer.
Number 38, Rendon McCarthy.
Now the fastball. We've talked about the changeup, the slider, the cutter, and now the fastball makes him miss. 16 swings by the Dodgers, 7 swings and misses.
You can see why he's had a couple of no-hitters in his career. A couple of Cy Youngs on his shelf. Strike 1 on McCarthy.
And some money in his wallet.
Yeah. $210 million deal. He's in the 3rd year of that contract. It's a 7-year pact. Turned down a huge offer from the Tigers while he was in Detroit, and a lot of people looked at it and said, what are you doing? Why would you turn that down? Well, he showed them why soon after when he signed that deal. He has retired all 6 outs via the strikeout. And after 2 at Dodger Stadium, we're tied at 1.
RBI Baseball 2017 is out now for Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. Enjoy fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action, packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Brandon McCarthy on to the third here in a 1-1 game. Joe, Orel, and Kelly at Dodger Stadium. Eight, 9, and 1 for Washington. It's Michael A. Taylor to lead it off. And it was starting role with the injury to Adam Eaton. You know, they talk about how scary this offense is right now. #1 in baseball in runs per game. Think about how scary it is if Eaton's leading off and you have Turner hitting down near the bottom of the order.
The most intimidating figure in their lineup is Bryce Harper, and now this year Ryan Zimmerman. But then I almost have to turn to not Murphy but Turner because of his speed if he can just get on. But Bryce Harper is the guy that you don't want to beat you. But you take 3 or 4 of the guys out of this lineup and put them on any other team, they would be the guy on that team. Don't let them beat you.
Right. I mean, you have Matt Wieters, who's a 4-time All-Star, hitting 7th. McCarthy gets Taylor to open the third. His first punch out.
It's the two-seam fastball, the sinker, and you can tell them it's coming when it moves like that. And when you get calls like that, it's awfully hard to hit.
Now Scherzer. People around the Nationals think this may be the team to finally get it done. By get it done, I mean simply winning a postseason series. Last time DC had a team win a postseason series, the 1924 World Series. It's the longest drought for any current major league city. Washington Senators, which is not this franchise, they went and became the Minnesota Twins, but the Senators beat the Giants 4-3, 1924. Washington D.C. has not had a postseason series win since. That one just misses. 1-2 on Scherzer. Walter Johnson, Hall of Fame pitcher, considered by many one of the 2 or 3 best pitchers of all time. At his first postseason trip that year in 1924 at age 36. Scherzer takes strike 3. Johnson started game 1, started game 5, lost both, struggled in both, but then came in game 7, pitched 4 scoreless innings of relief into extra innings, and was the winning pitcher in the clinching game. Trey Turner.
His nickname was Big Train.
That one's low, ball 1. So you had the Senators that were there and moved on to Minnesota to become the Twins. That was in the early 60s. There was another franchise called the Senators in Washington. They moved to Dallas to become the Texas Rangers. The Nationals came from Montreal, formerly the Expos. One and two.
And that's why the Washington Nationals, if you look at their retired numbers, you get number 8 Gary Carter, number 10 Andre Dawson, 10 also Rusty Staub, and number 30 Tim Raines, and of course Jackie Robinson retired with every club.
And Jackie played in Montreal, not that organization, but when Montreal was the Dodgers farm team. McCarthy looking for his first 1, 2, 3 inning. Turner takes outside. The count goes full.
Turner can make a 2-out walk hurt with his wheels. Stole 2 bases after the first at bat.
Lays off and reaches with 2 out. Now he almost single-handedly got the Nationals the game's first run. Infield single to reach. Stole second, stole third, and scored on a Bryce Harper sacrifice fly.
Well, you can hold him close right here and pay strict attention to him, or you can let him go on first move again and pitch out. Because I've got to believe Dusty Baker will just let him go here whenever he feels like he gets a jump.
Even that may not be enough.
You can't outrun the exchange from pitcher to catcher if the pitcher is quick enough, and quick enough for him would be somewhere from 1.1 seconds and under. You'd have to deliver the ball to Yasmani. Yasmani can definitely get it down to second in 2 or under. I don't think there's a runner that's ever run from first to second with a lead in under 3 seconds. But it's being quick from the mound if you decide to go home.
Off of Grandal's glove, and the mere presence of Turner out there probably partially responsible for that.
Brandon McCarthy, real quick step to get home, and then a check swing maybe blocks Yasmani off, and probably not completely concentrating on catching the ball compared to listening and watching to see if Turner was breaking.
So he's in scoring position for Brian Goodwin with 2 out in the 3rd, who takes strike 1. Fouled out his first time. Here's the 1-1. Little jam shot left side of the infield that Forsythe catches and retires the side. So you have to hold your breath some when Trey Turner reaches with 2 outs, but he's stranded. Middle 3 tied at 1.
Carl's, Cam, and it's been all Max Scherzer when it comes to recording an out against the Dodgers. 6 strikeouts so far. Fastball, you swung and missed that. The slider, they swung and missed that. And the changeup, he's using all his pitches, and they're all turning out the same when it comes to an out.
Max Scherzer in a start back in mid-May against Philadelphia got drilled on the knee by a comebacker that was measured at 100 miles per hour off of the bat. Crumbled to the ground. There were worries that could be a serious injury. Chase Utley leading off the third for the Dodgers, taking ball 1. 1 inning later, Max Scherzer threw an immaculate inning. Cesar Hernandez, Odubel Herrera, Aaron Altair, all strikeout on just 9 pitches from Scherzer. And oh, by the way, he was dealing with the blister that day too. 2-0. Utley scored the Dodger run in the first inning, hitting a sharp single to right, and eventually scoring on Adrian Gonzalez's base hit. Scherzer does give up some home runs. See if Utley gets one on 2-0 to swing at. Instead, it's high, and it's 3-0. In fact, during the Cy Young season, Scherzer gave up the most home runs in the NL, 31. Three and 1.
Chase was taking the 2-0 pitch, and there the 3-0 pitch, kind of leaning in and then turning away, giving the illusion that the ball might be inside.
That drops low, and Utley begins the third with a walk. First one issued by Scherzer.
It really looked like Chase was taking again there, 3-1, saying, I don't care if we go to 3-2. That ball is right down the heart, change up, and just was low.
Seager reached on an error his first time. Homered against Scherzer in Game 1 of the division series last year. Takes ball 1. Seager cracks his bat on a pop fly to center that Michael Taylor camps under for out number 1.
Number 9.
First out recorded in a way other than a strikeout for Scherzer.
Right in line with him getting a majority of fly balls.
Yeah. Grandal was first up in that strikeout parade. The shift on against Yasmani. Scherzer sets and deals. Upstairs, ball 1.
A little frustration, a little reaction right there from Max Scherzer. Tried to just throw the little get over curve ball to steal a strike, left it up, and showed that he's not real satisfied with himself right now.
Healthy cut and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Strength against strength. Low fastball to a very good low fastball hitter.
Runner at first for Yasmani Grandal. With 1 out in a tie game here in the 3rd. That one's thrown away. Utley's in scoring position. was odd looking.
Really odd looking. I don't know if he lost the grip as he goes to first, but he doesn't usually have trouble throwing the bases. That looked like he had to think.
So the Dodgers with an opportunity to take advantage of a second Washington error over the first 3 innings of this game. Murphy committed the first. Scherzer committed this one. And now he's downhill with a 1-1. Outside with a change-up, 2-1. What's this discussion?
A little chat on maybe what are you going with here, because I can either play way over towards first base and really play the shift and pull, or I can play it a little bit straight up. And probably also has him make sure you get over and cover first base on a ground ball over here, because Ryan's going to have to roam a little bit. We're going to need somebody to cover first.
2-2. If the discussion is what are you going with here to dictate your positioning, can't you as a hitter learn from where he's positioned about how you're going to get pitched?
That's where you might, when he's over there so far into right field, Yasmani's not going to see him. If he was more up the middle, you could see him moving. But where he is right now, you'd have to check him out and stare him down. I think it was about the reminder to cover first base, though.
A 2-2, and Grandal strikes out for the second time, and then shatters that bat, spiking it to the ground. And the 7th Scherzer K through 2 2/3.
A fastball, and it's right there on the corner. Yasmani upset because those are pitches that he usually handles.
Gonzalez knocked in the Dodger run in the first inning with a base hit to right, and has Utley at second with 2 gone here in the third. Strike 1.
Hitting with runners in scoring position was the story yesterday for the Dodgers. 1 for 10. And actually could have scored 4 runs yesterday instead of 2 just by producing productive outs, by moving runners around.
And against the best teams like this, those margins so much smaller, and it's those kinds of things that a lot of times determine the outcomes.
If yesterday would have been a playoff game, those different situations from the Dodger offense would have been analyzed to the nth degree. The regular season, sometimes it's just on to the next day.
Here's the 1-1. Takes off on him, and it's 2-1.
But the conversation around the batting cage was really about September and October, and about the lack of production yesterday in those situations. Dave Roberts has a long-term focus for this team and what needs to be done to win those close games in October. So they were out today taking PFP, pitchers fielding practice. Guys were working on their moves to first and to second and to third. They were working on their bunting, and they were talking about the situations last night.
3-1 on Gonzalez.
That's refreshing too. And Dave was asked in his scrum from the media, you know, what about those things and things you were doing today? He goes, I want to get out in front of it. I don't want to wait until somebody fails that we work on something. We want to be out in front of it and do it right the first time.
Go ahead run at second with 2 out in the third, and a 3-1 from Scherzer. Fouled off, full count. Now the payoff. Down and away for ball 4. Gonzalez with a walk keeps the inning alive for Bellinger.
2 walks and an error. Still a 0 up on the board for the Dodgers in this inning. Max Scherzer trying to pitch around his own mistakes. All 3 of those things are his.
Cody 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Two on, 2 out, tied up here in the 3rd inning. Scherzer comes home and Bellinger dribbles it foul. Strike 1. Working with Turner Ward on a few small mechanical things. Last few weeks the numbers not nearly as good. Striking out a lot. And missing a lot of pitches that Cody feels like he shouldn't. Here's an 0-1. 0-2 on the cutter.
They chart everything. They mark down the exact location of the pitch, what type of pitch it was. And as the numbers come in on Cody, he is swinging and missing at a lot of pitches in the strike zone. Hittable, reachable pitches.
That one's right down the middle, but it hits off Wieters and everybody's safe. Bases loaded for the Dodgers. Sloppy start to this game for Dusty Baker's bunch.
I don't know if this is a 2-seamer that he pulled a little bit. Wieters expected that ball to tail. He cuts it and he 2-seams it, but he flat out just missed that ball.
How often do you see a guy reach on a drop 3rd strike when he didn't swing?
Very rarely.
So it gives Chris Taylor an opportunity. Said it last night, say it again here. Not too many guys in the National League right now you'd pick ahead of Taylor to be up in a situation like this. Cuts and misses at a first pitch cutter. Grand slam on Saturday against Milwaukee. 3 of his 8 career home runs have been grand slams.
Very rare that you'll see 2 strikeouts and a flyout in an inning and have bases loaded 2 out.
Yeah. No hits.
And no hits. Two walks and an error and still no runs. A very odd inning.
So Scherzer has 8 strikeouts through 2 2/3. Well, the base is loaded. He's ready for an 0-1. Now Taylor swinging again on that slider cutter down and away, and it's 0-2.
He's very comfortable with that in his hand right there. Had to have a meeting with his catcher to say, no, this is exactly what I want to throw. He wants to be comfortable not only with the pitch, but it won't turn into a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Same pitch. Taylor took it this time. His first career homer was a grand slam in Arizona last year. Hit one here back in late April and then hit one in Milwaukee over the weekend. Scherzer brings him a 1-2. Same pitch, and it got him this time. 4 consecutive sliders from Scherzer, and with his 9th strikeout over the first 3 innings, he leaves the bases loaded behind him. earlier today. Kelly Tennant had a chance to catch up with JT.
So, of course, Justin Turner bobblehead night. It looks really good. They got the beard and everything perfect, but you're missing your better half. Are you sad that he's coming out alone?
Yeah, we're going to have to survive for a couple months without Adrian. But one thing I did notice, I'm holding the bat, so that obviously means that Adrian hit the homer and I'm going up to hit next. So I'll let that one slide. But obviously, they did a great job. I'm excited about tonight. Hope everyone enjoys their bobblehead.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right, Kelly, we appreciate Justin spending some time with us there the day after his first rehab game. As McCarthy drops in a strike to Bryce Harper. 6 innings at third last night, went 1 for 3 at the plate, knocked in a run with a single, and all the reports were really positive.
Really positive. He felt very good about it. He felt great about tonight because he doesn't want to be hurt, but the fact that he is hurt and can't play, he said, at least I can't take an offer again on my bobblehead night. Has not had much success on his other bobblehead nights.
Harper drills one down the right field line towards the pole, and a fair ball that bounces into the seats for a double. So leadoff double for Bryce Harper.
Number 11, Ryan Zimmerman.
Puig taking a look at that foul line like he's not entirely certain.
Bryce stays in the box after he makes contact here. I think he thinks he's going to pull it foul or it's a home run distance, but he hit it so far off the end of the bat. Wow, that ball does touch the foul line, but it's not a whole lot. Wow, that could be considered foul.
I don't know that it touches it as much as it kicks dirt onto it.
Yeah, the spray covers it. Dave Roberts told him to continue on, so they've taken their look. And wow.
So they'll let him play on in a tie game here in the 4th. Ryan Zimmerman, the batter now. Baseball's leader in runs batted in, has an opportunity to add one here.
That was so close that I think you would have come back with a call stands. Well, would it have been called foul? I think it would have stayed foul. If it called fair like it is with a double, stays a double.
Thirty-two-year-old Ryan Zimmerman having a huge season. Waits on an 0-1. That rides high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Finally healthy. Only averaged 90 games a year over the previous 3 seasons. What the health did this offseason was it allowed him to have an offseason where he focused on baseball as opposed to rehabbing one of his injuries. That can be a big deal.
When you went down the list of his injuries yesterday, I was surprised he could play. I mean, he's had everything hurt.
Shoulder, wrist, thumb, foot, hamstring, oblique. DL time for all 6 of those different injuries over the last 3 years. Harper at second with nobody out in a tie game here in the 4th. The 2-1. Big bouncer to second. Chase Utley. Up to third goes Harper. It's a productive out for Zimmerman.
Yeah, it's a very nice piece of hitting. Go ahead and hit for yourself, but hit for yourself on the right side of the diamond. So if you're not successful, you move the runner over. A few high fives for him as he gets back to the bench.
Seeing the Nationals execute a couple of productive outs tonight. Bryce Harper with a sacrifice fly to score Trey Turner for their only run. And now Zimmerman moving Harper to third in front of Daniel Murphy. Infield comes in for Dave Roberts. Strike one. Say Daniel Murphy has always been obsessed with the baseball swing, always obsessed with hitting. He had a younger brother, and his dad would take the two of them to the park in their hometown, and they'd start off by hitting in the cage for a while, and then Dad said, let's go take ground balls. Daniel hated that part. 0-2.
Is that why when he got to the big leagues that had a tough time finding a position for him? But
Probably
he could always
part
hit.
Of it. Yeah.
They always were looking for where can we play him defensively because they always knew he could hit.
He only had one Division I offer, Jacksonville, which is where he was from. And the coach there said that they offered that, kind of just turning a blind eye to the defense. He could hit so well, they'd put up with the D. 0-2. Fouls it off.
Well, he handles the ball up very well for a left-handed hitter. Middle up and middle away is his hot zone. Thought that last pitch right there might be a setup so they can come back down and underneath his swing with a cutter right here.
Murphy, really hard guy to strike out. Boy, could McCarthy use one here.
Brandon's had a nice release point on his cutter inside the lefties. Started Murphy out with that pitch. I feel it sooner or later he'd go back to that well.
Going up on 0-2, and he floats one to center. That will get the job done. Harper comes in to score, and the Nationals retake the lead at 2-1. Productive out after productive out for Washington.
Number 6, Anthony Rendon.
3 of them. Gets them 2 runs. Trying to go up and in, maybe even come back with the 2-seamer. Yeah, that's a 2-seamer coming back that ended up down the middle. Would have liked it higher and farther inside.
So the base is empty with 2 out, and here's Anthony Rendon. One and 0.
Rendon had some good swings on off-speed pitches yesterday against Ryu. Hit a couple of high changeups very well.
Singled his first time tonight. Another off speed, and it's 1-1. One ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball to right. Yasiel Puig coasting over. He will make a running catch. Very casually, like only Yasiel can. And the inning comes to a close. But the Nationals on a sacrifice fly from Murphy take a 2-1 lead. bottom of the 4th inning, and we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser, and McCarthy's pitched pretty well, but talk about these margins being so small in a game between two good teams, and again tonight.
Chopper, Trey Turner, 2 stolen bases, a sac fly, a ball that hits the liner. Maybe didn't hit the line for a double, and then another sac fly after they moved him over with a productive ground out. It has again been a game of very thin margins like yesterday.
Max Scherzer, 9 Ks through 3 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike on Forsyth. He, of course, has a 20 strikeout game on his resume. That's tied for the most ever in a 9-inning game. Came last year against Detroit. And 20 against his old team. There have been 4 guys that have done that, or 4 instances where it's been done. Roger Clemens did it twice. Kerry Wood did it for the Cubs. And then Scherzer, who falls behind Forsyth 2-1 or 3-1. Full count. To that 20 strikeout game for Scherzer last year against the Tigers, one of the greatest games ever pitched. He's had a couple of no-hitters as well that rank up there when you're looking at game score on Baseball Reference. A 3-2 and a 10th strikeout for Max Scherzer over 3 1/3.
Tough enough to hit him when he's got a normal strike zone, but when he's got a strike zone that feels like it's expanding, and that one was a legitimate strike, but it feels like it's hard to hit when he's on the edges.
So the bottom 4 in the Dodger order, bottom 5 in the Dodger order actually, all strikeouts so far. Strike 1 on Puig. From Bellinger through McCarthy. Combined 0 for 8 with 8 Ks.
When the Dodgers have swung the bat, over 50% of their swings have come up empty.
Puig hits a missile to the left field corner, off the wall. Great play by Goodwin on the ricochet, or else Puig could have kept on running for a while. 1-out double for Yasiel Puig.
Time now for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Thank you, Arco, and thank you, Yasiel Puig, for making a swing and coming up with some contact a little higher, and that is a tie game.
He has on his ledger the lowest home run of the year for the Dodgers. That came in Denver. And in Coors Field air, that similar ball right there might have traveled out. Tying run in scoring position, and the pitcher McCarthy hits. Strike 1. Dodgers 1 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position, and now in this series 2 for 17. Scherzer's 0-1, a swing and a miss, 0-2.
When he's had to get somebody out, he has gone to the slider. Back-to-back sliders here to Brandon. In pitchers BP, you don't see a lot of sliders like Max Scherzer's.
No. Even those fancy new machines that can mimic breaking balls can have a hard time spinning it the way he does. Backs up, ball 1. Came into the game already leading the National League in strikeouts with 100. Total has been climbing rapidly tonight. And on 1-2, he misses by the hands to even the count up.
Chase Utley has reached base twice tonight. Base hit and a walk.
Strike three, the 11th for Scherzer.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
Couple of strikeouts this inning of the looking variety. Right on the edge again.
Too short of his season high now. Struck out 13 Padres 2 starts ago. Plenty of bullets left in the tank for Mad Max, though. 2 outs in the 4th. He's thrown 66 pitches. And tries to bear down again with a tying run in scoring position and Chase Utley up there. Strike one. It's not necessarily blow you away stuff, but he lives on the corners. So much movement on everything. And if he's over the plate, it's right at the bottom of the knees. Utley flies it down the left field line, foul, and it's 0-2.
He's really had to pitch down because the Dodgers have not chased his high fastball. Those are the nights also that he really gets it going because he can throw the slider low in the dirt, the change-up, change your speeds, and then he goes up the ladder with the fastball. But so far tonight, he really hasn't had that up fastball where the Dodgers have chased. They have forced him to pitch down. And he has pitched down very successfully.
Puig at second with 2 gone, and an 0-2 from Scherzer to Utley. Pop foul, do it again. So there have been 11 outs in this game, 11 strikeouts, but also a flyout because one of the strikeouts was dropped by Matt Wieters. One silver lining is that he reaches 70 pitches here in the 4th with his 0-2. Ball 1. A 1-2. Utley takes a ball on a changeup, and the count evens at 2-2. Chase has appeared, relatively speaking, to have seen him well tonight. Singled and scored in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, and after falling behind 0-2, he's taken a fastball and a change to even the count. Comes the next one. Fly ball to center. Easily playable for Taylor, and the inning is over. Max Scherzer, 11 punch outs over 4 innings, and the Nationals lead 2-1. is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. The We Make It Easy sales event is going on now at your SoCal Toyota dealer. Well, one of the many traditions Vin started was making this always more than just about baseball, and always like to talk about D-Day and the sacrifices that so many made on this day, June 6, 1944. Operation Overlord, with more than 170,000 Allied troops that included more than 70,000 Americans, stormed enemy territory in northern France. Matt Wieters leading off the 5th inning and taking ball 1 from Brandon McCarthy. Started just past midnight, June 6th. The first wave, 13,000 Americans parachuted in behind German lines, avoided detection. And then 3 hours later, they started the bombing assault on the coastline to do their best to lighten the defense up as best they could before the Allied soldiers stormed the beaches. 6:31 in the morning, June 6th. More than 150,000 Allied soldiers in a beach stretch of about 30 miles. Got off the boat, stormed the beaches with just defense that would blow your mind. I mean, it's hard to even fathom what those people went through. I mean, kids ranging from age 17 to their 20s and 30s. Wieters a pop up, backing out of play, and it's 2-2. More than 4,000 Allied soldiers lost their lives on D-Day. We remember them and their sacrifices on this day. Nobody can tell those stories like Vin, but I think it's important we keep alive remembering what this day means and what in 1944 those 170,000 Allied troops did. Wieters down swinging for the first out of the 5th.
Number 3, Michael Taylor.
The freedom that we enjoy, the life that we get to indulge in. So many others sacrifice for us. Stay thankful and appreciate it.
1 out for Taylor, who shoots the first one foul.
It's a nice tradition the Dodgers have, and also Major League Baseball now recognizing someone who has been very heroic in the armed forces every game. Around the 3rd inning, announced to the crowd, always a standing ovation.
Vin always talked about on stories like that, when you think that you're having a bad day, think about the door coming down on those boats as they came into the shores, and cliffs were lined with the machine guns. That's a bad day. Back-to-back Ks to open the 5th for McCarthy. But what it meant for the world and in world history, I mean, it made it one of the greatest days when you consider what it opened the doors for. Had it not happened successfully, and it was no guarantee that it would, who knows what the world would be like right now. Strike on Scherzer. And the beach ball leaks out of the warning track. I'm always amazed in reading about D-Day and the amount of secrecy they were able to maintain. 170,000 soldiers invaded, and they were completely caught off guard.
With all the different countries involved.
Some good friends. Baltimore chopped, and McCarthy waits on and gets Scherzer to finish a 1-2-3 5th. Halfway home, 2-1, Nationals in front. One on to the bottom of the 5th inning, and enjoy all the sizzling summer action here at Dodger Stadium. Get a Dodgers Summer 6-pack, and you can choose your favorite giveaway nights, preferred days of the week. Great matchups like this one we're watching tonight, and you get a cool t-shirt with your purchase. Go to Dodgers.com/mini-plans. Good matchup here in Game 2. Not to sell it short, better matchup tomorrow, I think. Kershaw against Strasburg. Hard to beat that.
And you hope Clayton Kershaw doesn't have to be a stopper. You'd like to have him pitching to win the series. Last year, these two teams met 6 times. The Dodgers won 5 out of 6. And then, of course, they beat them in the playoffs. So far this year, 0-1, Dave Roberts' team against these Nats.
2, 3, and 4 for the Dodgers coming up against Scherzer, who has racked up 11 Ks through 4. One of 3 men ever to strike out 20 in a game. That's the record. Clemens twice, Wood, and Scherzer just last year. His first one to Corey Seager, dips in there for a strike. 2 no-hitters in Scherzer's career, and both of them one batter from being perfect games. Seager off the end of the bat to a well-positioned Turner. 1 out. So against the Mets in a no-hitter in 2015, Yunel Escobar made a throwing error to allow the only base runner, similar to Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter, where Hanley Ramirez throwing error kept him from being perfect. And then against Pittsburgh, he was 1 strike away from a perfect game. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Jose Tabata on a 2-2 pitch got hit by a pitch. And some argued that he leaned in, stuck his elbow out. Inside on Grandal. Baseball historians immediately thought back to Don Drysdale's scoreless inning streak, which at one point appeared to have ended. And Dick Dietz stuck his arm out and was initially ruled to have been hit by the pitch. Then it was overruled that he had stuck his arm out, and Drysdale got out of that inning and went on to 58 consecutive scoreless innings. That's a bullet towards the right field corner, but it's foul.
Harry Wendelstedt was the umpire when Don Drysdale was on the mound, extending his streak. Harry made the correct call, and Don did pitch out of that jam. Thank you, Big D, for everything that you did for the Dodger organization, for Dodger fans, and for all of us pitchers that you taught us so much, not only how to pitch, but how to be a man.
Rendon gets under it, but it'll get to the seats. Oh for 2 with a pair of Ks. It's 2 of the 11 that Max Scherzer has accumulated. Looking for number 12, and on this 1-2, he gets it.
First baseman, Adrian Gonzalez.
Scherzer has gotten Yasmani with a few different pitches. The last at bat was on a fastball away. Now he goes with a changeup. Excellent arm speed and depth for that. He's a lot of fun to watch when he's not pitching against the Dodgers.
Yeah. Adrian's the only guy he's yet to stall. RBI single and a walk. High drive to right. Harper is there. Reaches up and makes the catch. That thing kind of took off on Bryce, but he's able to flag it down, and Gonzalez the 3rd out of the 5th.
Service and straight talk, go to Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer.
And by Big O Tires. For tires, service, and straight talk, go to Big O Tires, the team you trust.
78 Gold Glove for Davey Lopes, who is here with the Nationals as their first base coach. A lot of Dodger connections with the Nationals. Of course, Dusty Baker, former Dodger. Trey Turner dragging the first pitch foul. Stan Kasten, Dodgers CEO, president, former head of the Nationals.
He was there for about 4.5 years. Stan has put his fingerprint on a lot of organizations that have turned out in a big way, very successful. The Atlanta Braves, their long run of pennants. He's dabbled in hockey and basketball, also been the head man. Really knows the sports industry inside and out.
2-1 on Turner. Yeah, in fact, his first jobs were in the NBA stands. He was a GM at 27 years old of the Atlanta Hawks. Turner hits a high fly ball to left. And his speed doesn't matter when it's up there. Bellinger can catch it for the first out of the 6. Told a story of sitting in his first NBA GM meetings when he was 27. Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine it. Red Auerbach and Jerry West.
And here's his 27-year-old Stan Kasten. Said he recalls the cigar smoke wafting all over the place in these GM meetings.
The meetings weren't in California.
One out for Goodwin. Swings at the first pitch. See if this one stays in play. Puig comes on and makes the catch. Calls off Utley. Had he not, that would have been an almost impossible angle for Utley to catch that ball at. 2 out.
Take it slow with Kona. And the slow mode of Yasiel Puig still has him running fast. Had to alter his route a little bit. But boy, does he play an amazing right field. Sometimes he plays it happy, sometimes he plays it casual, sometimes he plays it tough.
Ask Jock Peterson.
That was a tough one. Jock nursing the concussion from that collision where Yasiel caught the ball as the two of them ran into each other, and then Jock caught a piece of the wall.
Oh, and 1 on Harper. Guy that Stan Kasten drafted. First overall pick in 2010. Good frame job by Yasmani. 0-2. Ball 1.
Brandon has thrown the ball very, very well tonight. Those 70 pitches, you're talking about a Harper bloop double that barely caught the line, and a Trey Turner chopper, and then some very productive outs by the Nats to get 2 runs.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Bryce Harper. Brandon McCarthy over the head with a glove and home. A bouncing ball to third. There's Logan Forsythe. And a 1-2-3 inning for Brandon McCarthy, who's now retired 9 in a row. Kelly.
Thank you so much, Joe. You know, there's a lot of versatile guys on this roster for the Dodgers, but I have to tell you about Brett Eibner because I think he might be the most versatile. Of course, an outfielder for the Dodgers. The last time that he pitched was at the University of Arkansas. He was actually a closer back then. He was throwing off the mound today, though, so we asked Dave Roberts about that, and he said he's got a big arm and a slider to go with it, so we're trying to keep him fresh as much as possible just in case the moment arises that they need to call on him, and he's actually thrown 6 pens for the Dodgers, so they know what he's working with.
All right, here's Cody Bellinger to lead off the 6th against Max Scherzer, taking ball 1.
I think he has a legitimate chance on the mound. Just watching him throw today from up here in the press box as he was throwing a little bit of a simulated game out there on the regular mound. And they're serious about it when they get you out in the middle of Dodger Stadium and not in the bullpen. Roster moves are not foreign to our team, and there'll be some moves as Justin Turner gets healthy, as Jock Peterson gets healthy. So you don't know if Brett will stay here, and if he does get sent down, will it be as a combination outfielder / pitcher, start to get some innings.
Taylor and Forsythe to follow Bellinger here in the 6th. Cody has struck out both times. Waits on a 2-1. Cuts inside. That was the pitch that he swung at and missed in his first debut for strike 3. The 3-1. Bunts through it, 3-2.
Well, with nobody out, I can see the bunt attempt. It also is a little bit of a white flag that Max Scherzer is really good, and I'm not sure I can hit him because tremendous power at the plate from Cody in a 1-run game. I probably want him to be swinging at a cripple 3-1 fastball.
Strike 3, caught the outside edge. 13 Ks for Scherzer, and that one there, a big one.
This ball is wide for sure. Scherzer earned this, I guess, with the other strikeouts, but that's not even borderline. That's just a bad call.
I highlight my strikeouts in my scorebook yellow, and I think I'm going to need a new one. Somebody just yelled down below us, Joe Davis, is that a strike? The answer is no, whoever asked. Ball 1.
Don't yell back.
I wasn't going to. I'm peeking out to see if I can find them, and I was just going to shake my head.
Thumbs up or thumbs down. If you start answering them, you know how many people are going to yell at us?
Ball and a strike on Taylor.
I think the umpires would get upset if we started putting thumbs up or thumbs down after every pitch.
Yeah. Although if they know we're reliable, maybe eventually they'll turn around and ask.
I feel like it would be like Caesar.
Right.
The Coliseum.
1-2. It's been heavy slider against Taylor, who has struck out both times as well. So this would be the 90th pitch, and that's the one thing right now the Dodgers can cling to is a search against Scherzer. Has that look in his eye right now. Home of the 1-2. Backs up to even the count.
Which one and which color?
Yeah, right. One blue, one brown. His mom first noticed that when he was 4 months old. She said, wow, there's a blue eye and there's a green eye. As the year went on, the blue eye got bluer. The green eye turned brown. High drive to left center field, but it'll fall down to Goodwin for the second out. As a kid, anytime Scherzer would draw a picture, whether it was of a person or an animal, he would make them like him with a brown eye and a blue eye. And so his parents, when they went into the classroom for parent-teacher conferences and they have all the pictures up, they didn't have to ask which one's Max drew.
And a pretty easy name to learn how to print. max. It's nothing round about it. A whole bunch of straight lines on the right angles.
2 outs for Forsythe, who hits a soft ground ball to short. Turner's got it, and the inning is over. Dodgers put it in play a couple of times, but not much of a consolation as they continue to search against Scherzer, down 2-1. Our game summary brought to you by Morongo Casino. The Nationals taking advantage of their opportunities. Some productive outs tonight. A pair of sacrifice flies to score their 2 runs. Max Scherzer, meanwhile, 13 strikeouts through his 6 innings.
Those 13 strikeouts now gives him 1,994 for his career. And remember, Clayton Kershaw hit the 2,000 mark, is now up to 2,010. Puts him 16 behind Clayton.
Ryan Zimmerman leads off against McCarthy and bangs it foul.
It'll be quite a competition between Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw in career totals of striking people out. Pretty good horse race.
Rockies already won tonight, 11-3 over the Indians. Antonio Senzatella, his 8th win to lead the National League. Kershaw and Strasburg, who go tomorrow head-to-head, tied behind Senzatella with 7 wins. Mark Reynolds is 15th and 16th homers. Knocked in 5. The Rockies opening that series with the Indians with an 11-3 win, making the deficit for the Dodgers a 1.5 games. Hook to left. Bellinger started on, now goes back and makes the catch for the first out of the 7th.
News today when the Houston Astros finally lost. They had won 11 in a row. Kansas City beat them 9-7.
Royals got 4 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to do that. One out for Murphy. At the knees, strike 1.
That loss that Houston had on the road, it really put a dent in their road record. They're only 22-7 now on the road.
Murphy by the bag and foul. There are a lot of teams with really impressive road record. Not a lot of teams, but a few that have really impressive road records. You mentioned Houston, now 22-7. The Twins are 6 games below 500 at home, but 17-6 on the road. That's how they're in first. These Nationals 20-11 on the road. Murphy rolls it to second, picked up by Chase Utley for the second out. Look at AARP's Getting to Know Dusty Baker. Among active managers, only Bruce Bochy has more wins. His given name is Johnny. Johnny Baker from Riverside. He had a huge green grass backyard. His dad planted all this nice grass there. Dusty says it was the size of a football field, or at least felt like it when he was a young kid. And then one spot in the middle of the lawn that could never grow in, so it was this big mud spot, and he always seemed to go there and play. So his mom nicknamed him Dusty. She didn't want to nickname him Dirty. She went with Dusty. Want to know on Anthony Rendon with 2 outs and the bases empty in the 7th. Nationals without a base runner since Bryce Harper opened the 4th with a double and eventually scored the 2nd run. Sharp curve, 1-2.
This outing from Brandon McCarthy, he's being overshadowed by Max Scherzer and some productive outs on the Nats side and some lucky breaks, really, but this bodes well for the Dodger rotation. This rotation is filling in nicely behind Clayton Kershaw. It could easily have been a one-man show this year, but this staff, Ryu and Maeda, they've had their hot and their colds, but they're going to get it together. Alex Wood's going to get healthy, and he was the pitcher of the month in May, 5-0. I really believe in that man right there, Rich Hill. So there's plenty of good arms and plenty of high quality guys that are going to figure it out or continue their dominance. Brandon McCarthy is part of that pack.
Rendon's walk snaps a string of 11 in a row retired by Brandon. And Matt Wieters the batter with 2 out. Couldn't lay off, strike 1. And if you're wondering, as the Dodgers look at trying to come back in this game, how many pitches Scherzer's at? I know I am. It's at 92. So another inning or 2, you'd figure. And they didn't use their normal closer, Coda Glover, last night, so he'll be available for the 9th if they need him. Wieters off of the hands, lazily to right for Puig. He's got room. And Brandon McCarthy, 7 very strong innings, allowing only 3 hits. Can the offense bail him out? We stretch at Dodger Stadium.
Land Rover performance spotlight, and it has to be Max Scherzer. The changeup, the cutter, the slider was awesome to Chris Taylor. Yasiel Puig got him once, but not on that fastball. Yasmani Grandal, the fastball away right there. There was damage everywhere, including Yasmani's bat. Fastball low, and then another changeup. He has been devastating.
And has matched a season high with those 13 Ks. Leading the National League with 113 total this year. Having thrown 92 pitches. Doesn't have a whole lot left in that tank. Puig leads off the 7th. And can't lay off his slider, strike one.
If he was going to go to his season high on pitch count, he's got about 23 left. It was 116 earlier in the year.
Pedro Baez warming, as you saw Brandon McCarthy in the dugout talking to Rick Honeycutt, and they've sent Austin Barnes into the on-deck circle in McCarthy's spot. Another slider and another strike as Puig in a hole.
Max Scherzer is the type of guy that he likes to empty the tank at the end of the game. When he knows he's getting close to the end, he doesn't start to feel tired. He is like a sprinter at the end of a race, and he just goes for it.
Puig puts it in play. He runs hard. Rendon gloves, throws on the move, and gets him.
It's a routine play in the big leagues, but it's an exciting play when you have a fast batter running out of the box and an excellent third baseman. Bang, bang. Well executed. Great throw.
Pinch hitter number 15, Austin Barnes.
That was a quick release.
Barnes the pinch hitter for McCarthy in a 2-1 game in the 7th. Scherzer comes home and misses inside ball one. Heck of an outing for McCarthy. 2 runs on 3 hits. Well timed and well placed hits by the Nationals. Trey Turner started the game with a Baltimore chop right off of the plate. Reached on an infield single. Stole second, stole third, scored on a sacrifice fly. That's how they got their first run. Bryce Harper then doubled on the chalk in the right field corner. Debatable whether or not it was actually fair. Dodgers decided to not challenge. Advanced to third on a productive ground out from Ryan Zimmerman. Scored on a sacrifice fly from Daniel Murphy. Those are the only blemishes on McCarthy's line, but it's been enough for Washington because Scherzer's been Scherzer. Barnes fights it off, still 1-2.
Yeah. Other than the strikeouts for Scherzer, it's been an uglier game for him with the walks, the error he made, the pass ball from his catcher on a fastball right down the middle. But he's pitched around that traffic and his own mistakes.
His 100th pitch gets Barnes swinging. 14 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. All new episode of Backstage Dodgers coming up on Friday, and get to know the Oklahoma City Dodgers, AAA affiliate, and go behind the scenes as Grant Dayton gets the call up to the majors from there. Don't miss it. Presented by Hankook Tires after the post game on Friday. Utley 1 for 2. Singled and scored the Dodgers' only run in the first inning. Scherzer, who has retired 10 in a row going back to the 4th, gets strike one. Oh, 0-2. And if he's able to wrap up this inning as quickly as it's starting to look like he might. It's a good chance he could come out for the 8th. Oliver Perez got the save last night, but faced only one batter to do it. Scherzer to Utley, 0-2. Ball 1.
Max Scherzer and his facial expression, he is starting to smell it. He knows the end is near and he is pushing. A lot different look than we saw like in the 2nd, and the 3rd, and the 4th.
Change up, evens the count, 2-2. One strike away from matching his teammate Steven Strasburg for the most Ks in a game this season in baseball. Steven struck out 15 Padres a couple weeks ago. Boy, he is possessed right now. And home with a 2-2. Grunted with that fastball that's popped up. Wieters, the on deck circle, has room to end the inning. 7 innings from Scherzer, 14 Ks, and on to the 8th in a 2-1 game. Fourth, Dodgers their lone run back in the 1st. 8th inning coming up. Make plans to attend the annual Old Timers game presented by Security Benefit on Saturday when the Dodgers face the Reds. Get here early, get to see all your favorite former Dodgers and Oral Hershiser. For tickets and info, go to Dodgers.com/oldtimers. Sorry, it's not enough that you have to be considered an old timer. I got to heap on with a bad joke.
That was a good joke.
You're
I like
my favorite Dodger, Oral.
It's all right.
Here's Pedro Baez.
He's one of my favorite Dodgers, Pedro Baez. The reason the Dodgers have an advantage in a lot of these close games is because of the #1 bullpen in the National League. And Pedro Baez looks like the Nats are going to their bullpen. Scherzer getting high fives, and Pedro Baez is in the game. Advantage Dodgers, but still down a run.
Well, that's a good sign for Dodger fans. Michael Taylor taking a ball from Baez. Anybody but Scherzer at this point. Whether the Nationals' pen has been good or not this year, it'd be good to have him out of there. And if you didn't tune in last night, we will remind you that the Nationals' bullpen has not been good this year. 2-0. Pretty good last night, though. 3 scoreless innings from 3 different pitchers. Hold on to a 4-2 series opening win. Nationals have won 11 of their last 14. 2-1. Crowd better than 44,000 tonight. Back at it again tomorrow. Early game, 12:10 start time, and the finale between these teams, Kershaw and Strasburg. Sounds like a great excuse to take the afternoon off work. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just tell your boss Oral Hershiser told you to. How's that sound? Skip work, come to the game.
Fernando might start. Use Fernando.
Okay. That'll get the job done.
Even better, tell him Tommy Lasorda. He's managing one of the teams.
I meant tomorrow, the day game. Dial in here, Bulldog.
I'm sorry.
Old timer over here.
I was looking something up on the computer about the Nationals bullpen. Trying to find something enlightening, and what I found mostly is they don't throw many strikes. You got to let them set the table.
Full count on Taylor. Pedro's payoff. Got him swinging.
.98, not something that Brandon McCarthy used. He was right around 94 most of the night. Pedro takes it up a notch.
Pinch hitter for Scherzer is Stephen Drew.
Pedro giving himself an adjustment out there.
Rendon calls for a high fastball, and Pedro gives it to him, but it misses. 1-0. Dodgers bullpen throws a high fastball more than any other pen in baseball. Off speed, hit foul, and it's 1-1. Back to the fastball, 1-2.
98, then down to 89. Stephen Drew asking Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire, if that was a strike or not. I'm not in favor of that conversation. I don't think the umpire should help the hitter understand the strike zone.
Does that mean pitchers shouldn't be allowed to ask, hey, where did that miss?
Yeah. I think that, and you rarely get it from the mound because it looks like you're showing the umpire up if you yell at him to say, hey, where was that? So just because they can talk in a normal tone because they're so close doesn't mean it should be allowed. They should have just a catchphrase, like if they ask, you just go, it's up to you what you think. Not my job. The guy says, you know, is that right on the edge? Yeah, that's right on the edge. Well, then he knows that's the very edge of the strike zone. He shouldn't be able to tell him how much of the plate it got, or Is that as far as you're going to go? Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go. Or no, there's more there. You missed that one, buddy. That had a lot of the plate.
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, I can see as a pitcher how you wouldn't like that. Are you unique in being someone who actively thought about that?
I don't. I think pitchers in general just figured we're not going to be able to stop it, so why bring it up? And I didn't bring it up much when I was active, but now that I'm up here, it's a little easier to just say, yeah, I didn't want to make them any madder than you thought they could get at you.
Up here, you're untouchable, man. A little pop up. Corey Seager, the lonely man on the left side of the infield, has it for out number 2. Upcoming Dodger calendar is brought to you by 76. This series wraps up with a day game in a few hours. Kershaw and Strasburg got an off day Thursday, and the Reds come in this weekend with Scooter Jeanette and his 4 home runs tonight. One of 17 players in baseball history to do it. The first one named Scooter.
That Thursday off day is going to be very nice for the Dodger family and all those who want to attend the Dodger Foundation Gala. Earth, Wind and Fire is performing Thursday night here at Dodger Stadium for the gala, and also Maroon 5.
Looking forward to it. It's my first one.
I know all the wives are looking forward to it.
Trey Turner, with the bases empty and 2 gone, takes a slider for a ball.
It's a very nice event for anybody who's listening, and I'm not sure it's sold out. It was getting close. And if you look up Dodger Foundation Gala this Thursday, you'll find out about possible tickets still.
I hear there are food trucks on the way out.
There are. There's also great food and appetizers before. I think they're walking the blue carpet starts at about 5 o'clock. I think the first concert of Earth, Wind and Fire starts around 7:30. I think there'll be a live auction in between the 2 concerts of about 15-20 minutes, and then Maroon 5 will come on after they get themselves Earth, Wind and Fire off the stage, get Maroon 5 set up, and on with the evening. And then as you walk out to your Uber or to your car, there will be an In-N-Out burger truck.
Nice.
It's going to be really nice. It's a fun night.
A 2-1. Bottom of the zone for strike 2. Dodgers have Seager, Grandal, and Gonzalez coming up in the bottom of the 8th, and it'll be against what statistically has been the worst bullpen in baseball this year. Dodgers needing 1 for the tie, 2 to move in front, trying to even this series up. Turner fouls off 99. Pedro kind of back to the old Pedro with the tempo tonight.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I'm with you.
We got way too much time to talk about food trucks.
His innings are real good when he gets them out 1, 2, 3, but somebody gets on, he does really slow down.
Looking for a 1, 2, 3 inning here. Instead, he'll have to wait a touch as it goes full on Trey Turner. Turner with a game-changing first inning. The infield single, stole second, stole third, scored on a sac fly. The Nationals hang on. They can say speed won them this game. Shattered bat flare into left. Bellinger on to the bottom of the 8th. 2, 3, and 4 coming up after a 1, 2, 3 top of the inning for Baez. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Back inside the Vin Scully press box and a 2-1 Nationals advantage onto the bottom of the 8th inning. Part of the order coming up for the Dodgers. Corey Seager to lead off the inning against Oliver Perez as they finally get into that Nationals bullpen. No more Max Scherzer is a good thing.
The veteran crafty lefty Oliver Perez, he'll give you multiple deliveries like Johnny Cueto. He'll come a little sidearm against lefties every once in a while, and he'll quick pitch you. 12 out of his last 14 outings have been scoreless.
Seager, Grandal, and Gonzalez coming up in this inning for the Dodgers. And Corey takes strike one. Perez got his first save of the season last night, getting the final out. Dusty Baker brought him on to have Grandal bat right-handed. And Perez struck him out with a backdoor breaking pitch. 0-2.
Sidearm fastball and then a sidearm breaking ball.
Seager, one night after his first 3-hit game since mid-April, 0 for 3. Did not strike out against Scherzer, though. A jam shot into the seats. We'll do it again. He and Utley, the only guys. Oh, check that. Gonzalez. So 3 of the 9 in the order avoided striking out against Scherzer. Cade 14 tonight, second most in a game across baseball this year. Another 0-2. And another foul ball.
You see Corey, when he faces left-handed pitchers, he's very aggressive. He swings at a lot of pitches. He's not the typical left-on-left guy where I got to see him, I got to see what's going on. Corey just cares if the ball looks like it's going to be over the plate. Hit 284 so far this year off of lefties. Just fantastic ability to stay in there against this left-on-left situation.
Perez again mixing that timing up, getting into the rocking chair delivery that Johnny Cueto coined the term on, and missing low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corey chokes up on that bat with 2 strikes. Down swinging. Perez throws a disappearing breaking pitch and gets Seager for the first out of the 8th inning.
Breaking ball starts out looking like a strike, and Corey will get caught on those, but he makes those lefties battle.
Grandal is happy as anyone to see Scherzer out of the game. He struck out all 3 times. There's right-handed at bat for him tonight. Takes strike 1. It's the same pitch Perez threw to finish the game against Grandal last night. Oh, and 2.
One for a tie, one for a lead. Grant Dayton would be probably, if the score stays the same, might use Kenley in a tie. Yasmani's swing right-handed against lefties is a lot better this year. Much better. The average doesn't show it. He's hitting some bad luck. He's hit a lot of balls hard, and he looks a lot more comfortable than last year from this right side.
Here's another 0-2. A pause in the delivery, and it slips. Ball one.
Look like a flamingo. Down in Florida, that pink bird on everybody's front lawn.
No, I know what a flamingo is. I'm just trying to.
They kind of tuck the one leg up under. Just stand there on one leg.
Okay. Got under this one. Back goes Zimmerman trying to find it, and does at the last moment for out number 2. Start your weekend off with a bang Friday. Dodgers and Reds at 7:10. And after the game, take your place on the field for a pyro show themed to a LA Pride mix. Friday night fireworks presented by Denny's. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. Adrian Gonzalez has the lone run driven in tonight for the Dodgers, and he has hit it hard a couple of times. On that single in the first, and then lined out in the 5th. Front door with a breaking pitch, strike one. Orioles up here showing me a picture of a flamingo on his phone. And now I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I definitely knew what a flamingo was. It just didn't strike me as Oliver Perez-like. I see now. Flamingo. Ball one.
No, Perez. There was a Dodger reliever years ago that used to do this, and he was right-handed, and I can't think of his name, and he'd come up and pause almost in every pitch.
1-2.
It was almost like his little tornado delivery, that little twist and shout.
Boy, he just looks like a savvy veteran out there having fun, doesn't he? Playing the game. 35 years old. 15th major league season. Trying to work a 1-2-3-8. Gonzalez flips it down the left field line. It's foul. Another 1-2 from Perez. Gets Gonzalez and works a 1-2-3-8. On to the 9th in a 2-1 game.
California Nissan dealers. Oral, I feel like Jerry and Nomar are already getting ready for the Old Timers game on Saturday. Are you warming up there?
Wow.
His golf swing.
I don't know if I can get my leg up as high as Oliver Perez and hang, but I'm going to try. Yeah, the golf might have kept me in enough shape to be able to throw a few strikes on Saturday.
Grand Dayton comes on to pitch the ninth. Are you going to vary your delivery? Try and keep the dream alive here in your old-time age.
I'm just going to try and get it over the plate and hope they don't hit it up the middle. A couple years back, Mike Marshall hit a ball right between my legs, and it's not like in the Old Timers game we're fully equipped.
Well, I gotcha. Well, maybe you should change that. You're getting balls hit back through your legs. Just saying.
Just one in about 4 years, so
only takes one, Will.
it's about right.
2, 3, and 4 for the Nationals. Brian Goodwin leading off this inning against Dayton, who will try and keep it the slimmest of margins to give the Dodgers a chance with Bellinger, Taylor, and Forsythe against Coda Glover in the ninth. Ball one. Goodwin, 26 years old. It's a first-round pick back in 2011. And finally made his major league debut last fall. Soon after he was drafted, they had him to Nationals Park, as they often do with the early round draft picks, bring him to the big league park and introduce him to people in the organization. His very first day in DC, shows up at the stadium. He's down in the bowels of the stadium, goes into the bathroom, and everything starts shaking. There was an earthquake. That was the last time he was at Nationals Park until he debuted with the Nationals 5 years later. Maybe a bad sign. Maybe a bumpy ride to the majors, and it was for him. There were times when it looked like he may never make it. The numbers were not good at times, especially for a first-round pick. Fouled off of Grandal, full count, but he got a chunk of him.
Check swing, and let's see where it gets Yasmani. The inner part of the shin pad, half knee, where all that padding in it finds the places where it's not.
A leadoff walk.
Right fielder number 34, Bryce Harper.
And Bryce Harper. Mentioned earlier that Stan Kasten drafted Bryce Harper when he was running the Nationals. Well, Harper and his family utilized a loophole in the rules in order to be able to get drafted earlier. What started that process was he finished high school after his sophomore year. That's a strike. It's 0-1. Got his GED after his sophomore year of high school, enrolled at a junior college, the College of Southern Nevada. And the way that it works, you play 1 year of college ball, you're then eligible to be drafted.
At a junior college.
At a junior college, right. So as a 17-year-old, he went and played junior college baseball. Nothing in 2. 31 games. 31 homers and 98 RBIs.
98 RBIs is even more impressive than 31 homers.
As a 17-year-old playing junior college baseball. He was a catcher at that point.
He averaged more than 3 RBIs a game.
A game.
That's ridiculous.
Dayton strikes him out.
Well, time now to take the 98 RBIs and look at the Volkswagen replay. Grant Dayton sets down the superstar. Swing just not as locked in as it was about 3 weeks ago.
Harper 2 for 7 in this series as Zimmerman comes up. They've done a very good job on him. He's 1 for 7 in the series. Harper was the first overall pick a few years back. Zimmerman, as you told us last night, Oral, was the very first pick in the Nationals organization. 4th overall, 2005. Goes after a high fastball and a pop-up that Grandal watches become a souvenir. Zimmerman out of the same school that produced Chris Taylor, Virginia. And actually, Zimmerman and Taylor are from the same town in Virginia, Virginia Beach. Got to know each other playing together in a golf outing at UVA a couple years ago. Taylor due up second in the bottom of the 9th after Bellinger and before Forsythe.
That'd be a tough alumni game for that Virginia team. These guys came back and played. They have those games, alumni against the current team. Sometimes the alumni is pretty good.
Goodwin at first with 1 out. And a 2-1 game in the 9th inning. Here's an 0-1 to Zimmerman and a tie, ball 1.
A little bit of a lull in the game here, but really an important half inning for the Dodgers to stay within 1 run.
The man that they'll likely face in the bottom of the 9th, Coda Glover, his last time out, got the final out of the 8th inning, then gave up 5 runs without recording an out in the 9th. And what was an 11-4 lead wound up being an 11-10 win.
So they got a bunch of runs after he came in and got the out, and they sent him back out there after about a 25-minute delay.
Right. Pop off of the hand. Zimmerman is going to be 0 for 4. There's Utley.
You see that a lot with relievers, especially closers, when all of a sudden you take away the adrenaline from the save and the anxiety of one pitch could hurt your team, and all of a sudden you're just going out there in their minds just for exercise, and then also some exercise after a long delay. It could have been something maybe Dusty Baker could have avoided, but who does he turn to in that pen when a lot of them are not pitching well?
2 gone for Murphy. And boy, if I had told you the Dodgers would hold Ryan Zimmerman to 1 for 8, Bryce Harper to 2 for 8, Daniel Murphy to 0 for 6 through this point, probably would have liked the chances to at least split these first 2 games.
Hey, if not, win them both. If it stays the same, Clayton Kershaw's going to need to try and put a stellar effort up against Mr. Strasburg. And it's going to be a chore again tomorrow. And it's going to be a quick turnaround.
12-10 first pitch. In this game, 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for the Nationals. They got runs in the 1st and in the 4th. Dodgers a run on 3 hits. Their lone run came back in the 1st inning against Scherzer. That was it, though. Scherzer went 7, Fan 14, then Oliver Perez in the 8th. It'll be Coda Glover in the 9th. Ball and a strike on Murphy. Although I wonder if they'll send Perez out for Bellinger perhaps to start the 9th inning. Nicely placed there, 1 and 2. It's 2 right-handers after that. And Perez still looks somewhat dialed in.
Yeah, there's a possibility he'll be coming out and it won't bother him. It's an ex-starter that's now been so good in the bullpen. Grant Dayton pitched so many crucial innings for the Dodgers the end of last year. Really padded his resume and marked his territory as somebody that really can pitch high leverage situations.
Pitched in 7 of the Dodgers' 11 postseason games. Really, the only blip on that postseason radar was against these Nationals in Game 5. Gave up 2 runs in the 7th, and that's what led to the early call on of Kenley Jansen and eventually Clayton Kershaw. So all Grant was doing was trying to create a storybook ending to that series.
He was so good last year and was back in that form. It was almost like don't wake him up.
Grounded off of him, and everybody's safe.
Frustration about deflecting it, but also frustration figuring out that Corey Seager was right there if he doesn't put a glove on it. Understanding where your fielders are, you see where the glove is, you see where Corey is right behind him. Grant would have realized that before he threw the pitch. He would just olayed this, just let it go right there, just flinch on it and pull back, and know that Corey is right there for a routine pickup and step on the bag.
Dave Roberts going to make a change here. And a 2-1 game in the 9th inning, understanding how important it is that it remains this way and that the Nationals can't gather any insurance. Chris Hatcher comes on. We'll come back in a moment. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Dave Roberts brings Chris Hatcher on to face the right-handed batting Anthony Rendon. The Nationals authored that 4-2 win yesterday with 4 two-out runs. Trying to put things on ice here with 2 on and 2 out.
Rendon has shown that he can hit the changeup, but he's struggled with the breaking ball today, and you can beat him with the fastball up. Chris Hatcher has the tools to do it. We'll just see how this goes.
Dodgers will send Bellinger, Taylor, and Forsythe up there in the bottom of the 9th inning. In danger of falling to 2-5 in their last 7. That's on the heels of the 6-game winning streak. Nationals trying to make it 12 of 15.
Chris Hatcher yesterday was part of a group that hosted about 30 to 40 families and the kids that are suffering for some illnesses and wanted to put a smile on their face. He asked a few of us to come down and meet and say hi to the kids. It was a very nice event.
Goodwin at second, walk to start the inning. Murphy's at first with an infield single. And a 1-0. In the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. So I told you the story about Goodwin, his first trip to Nationals Park. The earthquake happens while he's in the bathroom. Rendon was drafted that same year, so was on the same trip. Was in the MRI machine at the time of the earthquake.
Oh, no.
It starts rattling and he's thinking, I don't think this is part of the MRI. And the technician came running in. You got to get out of there. Ripped by third, 2-1.
Or in the MRIs that I've been in, there's that banging noise while you're in there, that boom, 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 you know? And I don't know, maybe the technology now, I haven't had one lately, it's quieter, but it would sound like an earthquake, then plus the shaking.
Yeah, right. I think it's the shaking that tipped him off. They're still loud.
You've had one lately?
Relatively.
Last couple years.
Yeah. First and second and 2 out in a 2-1 game in the 9th. Here comes Hatcher. Rendon pops it up. Hatcher gets the job done here. It's Utley to catch it. Fasten those seatbelts onto the bottom of the 9th inning. Bellinger, Taylor, Forsythe coming up, needing 1. Glover to start the inning. Instead of the lefty Perez against Bellinger, Glover, the rookie, will face it.
Fastball slider change mostly against left-handed batters, so Cody Bellinger will see that. Fastball can top out around 97, 98, average around 96. That slider is above 90, believe it or not. It's around 93, so I would say it's more like a cutter.
Cody Glover, the only rookie closer in the majors right now. That's not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. Takes a certain level of guts to pitch in the 9th inning. And they have trusted this rookie to handle that role starting in mid-May. Dusty Baker tried out Blake Trinan, tried out Sean Kelly. Neither one of those guys got the job done. Glover the latest to try his hand at it. Dodgers one swing from a tie as Cody Bellinger climbs in and takes ball 1. Off of the hands, it's 1-1. We mentioned Glover's last time out. It was on Sunday against Oakland. Got the final out of the 8th inning. Didn't get it out in the 9th and allowed 5 runs on 4 hits. Those runs were charged to him, but 4 of the 5 came on a grand slam after he was pulled. A 1-1. Bellinger pops it off the end of the bat. Rendon. 1 out.
Center fielder number 3.
Pulled a string right there. That was the changeup, just like Scherzer was throwing.
So barring a rally here in the 9th inning, this will be the 6th time out of the last 7 games that the Dodgers failed to score 3. Now, one big outburst on Sunday. Taylor had a big hand in that with a grand slam, but other than that, not much doing lately. Starts him with a breaking pitch for a strike. The ebbs and flows of a season. Just the best offensive team in the National League for much of May. Glover's 0-1. Ball 1.
And May 25th through the 30th, the Dodgers are on that 6-game win streak. They were averaging over 6 runs a game. The offense was very hot.
Now in danger of falling to 2-5 since that 6-game winning streak. Here's the 1-1. A strike at the belt, 1-2.
Looked like it was just at the top of the strike zone, and it was.
Line drive, base hit, right field. Chris Taylor with a 1-out single, and the Dodgers have the tying run on against Glover.
Max Scherzer wore Chris Taylor out with sliders low and away, but this one is a slider, but it's not low and away, it's up and away. Chris Taylor, a beautiful swing hitting that line drive to right.
So now Forsythe representing the winning run. What a time this would be to snap an 0 for 19 slide. Fastball takes off on Glover, ball 1. I wonder how the rookie Glover will handle these 44,000 fans worth of cheers. A 1-0. That's a strike, 1-1. Do you consider putting Taylor in motion at any point to try and get the tying run into scoring position?
It'd be tough with a guy in an 0 for 19 slump. You might put him in motion, get a swing and miss, and then get him thrown out.
Glover's 1-1. Forsythe, it's a fly ball to right center field. Taylor moves over on it, makes the catch. Taylor hustles back to first, and the Dodgers down to their final bullet. It's up to Puig.
Number 66, Yasiel Puig.
It's an interesting at bat for Yasiel Puig, and what kind of hitter he brings into the batter's box. This is like hitting third or like hitting fourth. This is a moment. Can he stay within himself and make the same kind of swing he had in his last at bat when he powdered it off the wall?
Tying run at first, winning run at the plate, and Glover to Puig. Down the middle, strike 1. He took a fastball. Here's an 0-1. Got another one down the middle and came up empty. Glover's not showing him an off speed yet. Already has him in an 0-2 hole.
Well, believe it or not, this is a backup slider at 92. This guy can throw 98. His average velocity on that slider slash cutter is around 93.
The 0-2. Up and in. He takes it for ball one. Outfield plays deep, trying to avoid a ball in the gap that could score Taylor from first. That would tie it. The 1-2. Taylor runs and Puig takes ball two. So now the tying run is in scoring position. Heck of a take from Yasiel.
A good take, and Dave Roberts rolling the dice, which he used to do as a player. Stealing in the ninth, not worrying about getting thrown out, pushing the envelope.
So the entire equation changes here. A simple base hit would even the issue. Glover's 2-2. Outside and a full count. Kike Hernandez has stepped into the on deck circle for Dave Roberts. Puig chases to end the game. Glover gets him with a sharp slider that bites down and away, and the Dodgers leave the tying run at second. Now Puig and Glover come together for some reason. And before this thing escalates too much, the umpires step into the middle of it. George Lombard steps into the middle of it.
Just looked like Yasiel took a little offense to Glover's reaction to the win. And I think it'll get calmed down very quickly here. Slider low and away. Glover does look like he's staring at him and does give him a little hand gesture there.
Here now the totals for tonight's
Yasiel
game.
says, "What'd you say?"
The Washington Nationals, 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors.
Glover doesn't need to be striking somebody out and staring him down.
No errors. Fans are reminded the Dodgers.
Another tough one for the Dodgers to stomach. When we look at our Lexus player of the game, Max Scherzer, brilliant. 14 strikeouts tonight. Dodgers got 1 against him in the first, but that was all. And on a night where the Nationals got an infield single to start the game, a pair of stolen bases, then a sacrifice fly for 1 run, a double with a ground out, and another sacrifice fly for the other. A 2-1 loss hurts. Series finale tomorrow, less than 24 hours, 12:10. It's Kershaw against Strasburg. For Oral and Kelly, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins right now.